The deep void between stars was silent as always, filled only with the low hum of passing vessels and the whispers of distant signals. Among the endless dark, a massive alien command ship drifted near the edge of the Terran expanse. Its commander, a being of age and wisdom known across his empire as Vernal, stood before the holographic display that painted space in light and motion. His scales shimmered under the cold glow of the projection, his voice calm but carrying weight as he spoke to his generals. "The Council grows impatient," one of them said, his tone sharp. "They believe the humans are vulnerable. Their colonies are small, scattered, and unprotected. We could strike before they grow stronger." Vernal's eyes narrowed. "You think power is measured by the number of ships?" The room went quiet. He waved his clawed hand and the hologram shifted to show a planet. Blue, white, and green. "Earth. You see this world," Vernal said softly. "It looks peaceful, doesn't it? Fragile even. But appearances deceive. They always have." Another general stepped forward. "With respect, Commander, you speak as if you fear them. They are young. Their fleets are primitive. We are the Corian Dominion. No species has ever resisted us." Vernal turned slowly, his eyes glowing faintly. "And yet none of those we conquered ever warned us not to fight them." "Humans did." The chamber fell silent again. Every officer stared at him, confused. Vernal motioned toward a smaller projection. An ancient recording, one kept locked in the archives of forbidden data. The image flickered to life. It was a human, an old man, his uniform torn and dirty, his face calm despite being surrounded by alien soldiers. His voice carried a strange tone, a mix of sorrow and certainty. "You can destroy our cities," the man said, "but if you attack us, you'll never escape what comes next." The recording ended. "That was nearly 2 centuries ago," Vernal continued. "A minor skirmish or so, they said. A group of raiders thought they could harvest one of their colonies for resources. Within days, every ship vanished. Not destroyed, vanished. Our scouts found wreckage scattered across half a sector. No life signs, no signals, no answers." The younger generals shifted uneasily. "You think humans did that? They didn't even have faster-than-light drives back then." "Maybe not then," Vernal said. "But their will. That is their weapon. When they are threatened, they become something else. Something the stars themselves seem to fear." He turned off the projection. "Do not attack the humans. Do not even provoke them. If you value your fleet, you will let them be." But warnings rarely stop ambition. 2 cycles later, an ambitious warlord named Kern led his armada toward the Terran border. He believed Vernal's words were the ramblings of a fearful old commander. He wanted glory. He wanted conquest. Humans were expanding too quickly, building colonies on worlds once thought too harsh for survival. To him, that was an invitation. His fleet cut through the darkness like blades of light. 60 ships strong, each armed with enough power to destroy continents. They passed the outer satellites and entered a system humans called Kepler-49. The colony there was small, mostly agricultural. No defenses, no warships in orbit, just quiet transmissions about harvests and family gatherings. "Pathetic," CERN muttered as he watched the scans. "Prepare the strike." The ships descended. But before they could even fire, the signals vanished. All channels went silent. The stars outside the viewport dimmed. The fleet's sensors began to fail one by one. "Interference?" a technician asked. CERN frowned. "There shouldn't be any." Then the light came. It wasn't a weapon, not in the conventional sense. It was a pulse, silent, blinding, and endless. Every ship across the armada felt it. Engines shut down, gravity twisted, and time itself seemed to stretch. When the pulse faded, the colony below was gone. The planet was still there, but the buildings, the people, everything had vanished without a trace. And then the voices started. Through the static of the comms, whispers began to echo. Not alien voices, not mechanical interference, but human ones. Calm, cold, and united. "Leave this place." Kern's blood ran cold. He tried to order a retreat, but his commands never reached the others. One by one, his ships began to drift apart, caught in some unseen grip. Sensors showed shadows moving between them, impossible readings, fragments of ships that weren't supposed to exist. Old Terran vessels from centuries past, drifting like ghosts. "Impossible," CERN whispered. "They're extinct. Those hulls are from the first expansion era." The shadows moved closer. The human fleet, ancient yet functional, surrounded them. And then came the transmission, an old voice distorted but clear. "This is Earth Command. You have violated Terran space." CERN tried to speak. "We did not mean," the voice interrupted. "Intent does not matter. Leave now." And then the signal died. His fleet was gone within minutes. When the Dominion sent a recovery team, they found nothing but empty space. No debris, no escape pods, no trace of battle, only silence. The news reached Vernal days later. He stood alone in his command chamber, staring at the reports. Another armada gone. No survivors. No explanation. He sighed heavily. "I told them," he whispered. "I told them the humans never let you escape." Years passed and the legend grew. Across the galaxy, species began to whisper about humanity. The ghosts of the stars. The ones who vanished and yet were always watching. Some said Earth had fallen silent by choice, retreating into secrecy. Others believed they had ascended beyond physical form. But one thing was certain. No one dared to cross into their space again. Until one day a distress signal appeared. It came from the border near the abandoned Terran colonies. The signal was human, repeating a simple phrase over and over. "This is a request for help. We are not armed." Curiosity overcame fear. Vernal, now older and weary, ordered a small scout vessel to investigate. He went himself despite his age. He needed to see for his own eyes what remained of the species that once defied empires. When they arrived, they found a small ship adrift in the darkness. It was human in design but ancient, its metal scarred, its lights flickering weakly. "Scan for life," Vernal ordered. Single occupant. Still alive, they brought the ship aboard. Inside the cockpit was a human woman, pale and fragile looking, her breathing shallow. Vernal watched as medics carried her to the infirmary. Hours later, she woke. Her eyes were clear, and when she spoke, her voice was steady. "You shouldn't have come here," she said. Vernal leaned closer. "Why? We received your signal." She smiled faintly. "You don't understand. That signal wasn't a request for help. It was a warning. They're coming." "Who?" "Humans." Vernal's heart sank. "But your people vanished centuries ago." She looked at him with something that felt almost like pity. "We never vanished. We were preparing. Every time someone attacked us, we learned, we adapted. We left the galaxy to rebuild, to grow stronger. Now we're returning. Not for conquest, but to make sure it never happens again." The ship shook suddenly. The lights dimmed. Through the observation window, space began to ripple. Like a stone dropped into still water. Dozens of human ships appeared, sleek, silent, enormous. They moved with precision, their formation perfect, their weapons quiet but visible. "They're here," she whispered. The lead ship sent a transmission. "This is Terran Command. Identify yourself." Vernal stood before the comms panel, his voice steady. "I am Vernal of the Corian Dominion. We come in peace." A long pause. Then the voice replied, "Peace is accepted. But understand this, Vernal. Do not attack the humans. Do not follow us. Do not interfere. We remember those who tried." The human fleet turned and vanished into the folds of space as silently as it had arrived. Vernal stared into the emptiness for a long time. His crew waited for his orders, but none came. Finally he spoke, his voice low and thoughtful. "Across the stars there are thousands of civilizations," he said. "But there is only one that learned how to turn fear into strength, loss into resolve. They are not the strongest, not the oldest, but they are the most dangerous because they never forget." He looked at the young officers who once doubted him. "Remember this," he said. "Humans do not fight for power or territory. They fight for each other, and when they do, there is no force in this galaxy that can make them stop." The stars outside flickered as if nodding in agreement. Somewhere in the deep silence of space, the human fleet moved unseen, guarding their worlds, their people, their legacy. And every alien commander who heard the old warning repeated it in hushed tones. "Do not attack the humans. They will never let you escape."